This is Steve Ridgel, and obviously I'm recording this out at the ranch. I'm working some today, and I just put my hat on. So if you see my dog Remy stick her face up, it's because she thinks we're fixing to go out and get the mule and go somewhere on the ranch and work. Well, I tell you why I'm wearing this hat. You're going, I don't know why, because you don't look good in it. And no, I want to talk to you a minute about, well, why a lot of ranchers wear hats, why I wear a hat. Now, not a cap. A lot of farmers wear caps. I don't even get that. I wear a hat to do whether I'm on the tractor, working the cows, doesn't matter. I wear the hat. And let me tell you why. There are people that wear it because they want to look like a cowboy or a rancher. Now, I don't look like one. I look pretty goofy in a hat, but I wear this anyhow. People that don't use the hat, well, in Texas we have a saying, all hat, no cattle. It means you wear the hat for the image, but you don't really do anything with it. Now, I'm going to tell you why I wear this hat. This is actually a working hat. It's a pretty stout, pretty tough hat because I walk into branches, I bend over and hit fence lines, things fall off and bounce off the hat, not my head. So I use it for protection a lot, and that's important to me. Now, it's also pretty easy to get it off and swipe at something. It'll even hold a little water. Remy has occasionally got a little drink out of it. And so I'm careful with that. But I tell you what else it's really good for. If you look real close, you can see scars on my head. I had a melanoma cut out of my head. And so protection from the sun is really important to me. So I wear that hat to protect me from the sun. Now you're going, yeah, but a cap would do that. Well, a cap doesn't cover your ears. And for me, if I'm bending over working or moving things and I start to get in, the hat just protects right here. The cap. My hat protects way out to here. So if I bump something, I've got a little protection. Hats are really good if you work a lot outside. They're good for protection. And so I think everybody ought to have one. In fact, I'm always telling my grandsons they're pretty much cap wearers. My son wears a hat because he's had a little melanoma before, and so he's pretty careful, pretty smart about it. But I buy hats for people in the family because I think that's a smart thing to do. Now you're going, okay, so we learned about why you wear a hat on your ranch, and some people wear it for show, not practical. Well, if you watch any of my stuff, you know that I'm fixing to make a point about Jesus in this. There are people that kind of do the Jesus stuff for show. They don't have any cattle. They wear the hat to look like they work on a ranch. Well, people do that with church. They show up at church not because they love Jesus, because they want to cultivate an image. They do certain things because they want to cultivate an image, even if that behavior doesn't come from the heart. Well, that's kind of like all hat, no cattle. That's all show, no Jesus. You don't want to be that guy. But I also think there's an application in the hat for protection. I think Christians ought to be smart about going out in life and protecting yourself from bumping into things, from things falling on you, from hitting things, protect you if you've had some damage, if you've had wounds that have become scars. I think you do that in lots of ways, by hanging out with other Christians, by reading God's Word, by praying. That's kind of putting on your protection every day. So I try to spend time in the Word. I try to pray. I try to spend time with other Christians because that protects me from the things in the world that would harm me. And so I don't know if you ever go outdoors, but I'm a hat wearer because it's important to protect myself, and it's because I actually need it. So this is Steve Ridger telling you, hats all have a purpose at the ranch, and maybe you learned a little bit about the Jesus life too.